This is the Chapter 1 closer for Integrated Math 1, Chapter 1. So we're at the top of page 27. We're doing closure 186. So for the first set of problems, you want to make sure you follow order of operations. So in problem A, you want to make sure you do the exponent on the 3 first. Then you're going to multiply that by 2. So 9 times 2 would be 18. And then 5 minus 18 would get you to 15. Part B, you're going to take the negative 2 and square it. That means multiply negative 2 times negative 2, which gets you positive 4. Letter C, you're going to follow order of operations from left to right. You can do division and multiplication in the same pass. So we're going to have 18 divided by 3, which is 6, and then 6 times 6, which is 36. Part D, you're going to follow order of operations. So because there's no parentheses, you're going to take that 2 and square it, which is 4, and then you take the opposite, which is negative 4. Part E, in the first set of parentheses, you have 5 minus 3, which simplifies to 2. In the second set of parentheses, you have 5 plus 3, which is 8, so 2 times 8 is 16. Letter F, so you've got multiplication and division. You can do them both in the same pass from left to right, so 24 divided by 4, or 24 times 1/4 is 6. 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. Part G, why are your answers for parts B and D different? The reason is order of operations. Part B has parentheses, so that means you're going to take everything that's in parentheses and square it, versus D, you're going to square first, then take the opposite. All right, moving on to 87. So you're going to draw the first figure to the left and the fifth figure to the right on your paper. So for figure 2, working backwards, you're going to take off the 1 here and the 2 here, and then you're going to keep adding 1 more in this direction. So the fifth figure is going to have 4, and then you're going to keep adding 2 in this direction. So this last figure is going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Part A, you're going to use the table to the right to record how many tiles are in each figure. So for each figure, you're going to count up how many tiles are in each and fill it in. Part B, describe how the pattern is changing. I said that each figure has 3 more tiles than the one before it. How many tiles will the 6th figure have and the 10th figure? So I figured for the 6th figure, there was going to be 20, and for the 10th figure, there was going to be 32. Down to closure 188. So I'm simplifying using my laws of exponents. So I'm going to, since we're division, I'm going to subtract the exponents. 8 minus 3 gives me c to the 5th. Part B, y to the 2nd times y to the 7th. Same base. So I'm going to add the exponents. 2 plus 7, that's going to get me 9. Part C, everything in parentheses goes to the power of 2. So 7 to the power of 2 is 49. And a to the 4th to the power of 2 is a to the 8th. That's a power to a power, so you multiply them. 4 times 2 is 8. Part D, we're multiplying, so the coefficients get multiplied. 5 times 12 is 60. This x has an exponent of 1 that gets added with the exponent of 3, so we have x to the 4th. Y to the 2nd and y to the 4th, the exponents get added, so y to the 6th. Down at the bottom, closure 189. So we're going to simplify this equation. We get something weird here, like 0 equals 7. So there's no solution to part A. Part B, we're going to add 10 to both sides. We're going to subtract 7x from both sides, and we get x equals negative 3. Part C, we're going to subtract 32 from both sides, and we're going to add 3x to both sides, so we get negative 3x equals negative 2. And then we're going to divide both sides by negative 3, and we end up with 2/3. And part D, we're going to subtract 4x from both sides and add 1 to both sides. We end up with 0 equals 0. When you end up with 0 equals 0, you get something called infinite solutions. All right, to the top of page 28. Top of page 28 says, for each representation below, decide if it is a function and justify your answer. So for the first one at the far left, if you plug in 7 right here, you get an 8. And if you plug in 7 right here, you get a 9. That's like our soda machine giving us a Pepsi and a Sprite at the same time. The second one is yes, it is a function, because for every x you put in, you only get out 1 y. While this one is not, because right here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 outputs. And then the last one is yes, it is a function, because it's going to be a linear function. If you get y by itself, it's going to be a line. Jumping down to closure 191. Calculate the value of f equals 4. So we're going to plug in a 4 everywhere you see x. So on part A, you're going to have the opposite of 4 minus 7 plus 3. And 4 minus 7 is 3. So we have the opposite of 3 plus 3. Oh, that should be negative 3. The opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. So we get 3 plus 3, which is 6. For part B, if we plug in a 4 there, we're going to get the square root of 4 plus 12 over 4, which is square root of 16 over 4. And the square root of 16 is 4. So we have 4 over 4, which is 1. Part D down here, we have 4 to the 4th power minus 3, which is going to get us to 256 minus 3. So the answer is 253. Next, closure I-192. Evaluate each expression. So you're going to want to do the absolute value first. So we're going to have 2 divided by the absolute value of negative 1. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. So we have 2 divided by 1, which is just 2. Okay. Part B, we have 5 to the 4th power. So you want to do the exponent first. So 5 to the 4th power, if you punch that in your calculator, you're going to get 625. You're going to subtract the 25, and you should get 600. All right. Part C, we're going to take the third root of negative 8. And because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8, this simplifies to negative 19 plus negative 2, which is negative 21. Part D, order of operations, says you want to do the multiplication first. So negative 11 times 3 is negative 33. Minus 16 times 8, which is 128. And then negative 33 minus 128 is 161. And the last question, closure 193, use the function machine shown at the right to answer the following questions. If the input is negative 8, what is the output? So you're going to put negative 8 right in here for x. So you're going to have negative 6 times negative 8 minus 3. You're going to multiply the negative 6 times the negative 8 first, which is 48. So 48 minus 3 is 45. And if the output is 21, what was the input? So if negative 6x minus 3 equals 21, we add 3 to both sides. We get negative 6x equals 24. Divide both sides by negative 6. And that goes in there negative 4 times.